Welcome back to the Trenchless Table, guys. We are episode 2, kicking off here from Pipe Live Rehab.
Yeah, we got a special guest today. I appreciate the opportunity to sit with Don Rigby. Don's a good friend of mine in the industry, and I saw Don yesterday, and I said we need to get Don on here because we are counting down the days, not weeks, but days until this man retires. And so, Don, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being part of this industry and just spending time having some laughs, breaking bread, having a couple cocktails at all the shows that we see you at. And so, Don, if you could throw out a quick introduction, how you got here to the industry. I know you said you've been here for 15 years. And so give us a little quick clip of your background and your industry.
I must admit, I really admire those people who graduate high school, college, and go into an industry and stay in that industry forever, right? And they're dedicated. I didn't do that. I did this. I was in radio. Well, I was in music for a while. I was in radio for a while. I went to engineering company and then a software company as well. Doubled in size and doubled in volume every year for 7 years. It was the greatest job I ever had. The president of that company and myself are best friends today. And their family's close to our family. It's just great experiences along the way. I did have my own company for a while. For 5 years, I had a company called Integrated Marcom. And we went into companies that are stuck, couldn't grow, wasn't advancing as well as they needed to. Because if you're not growing, you're dying in this business, any business. So I went in, I talked to the president, I talked to vice president, customer service, marketing, sales people. Why should I buy from you? We didn't have one consistent answer back. We have a messaging problem. So I did that for a number of years for a lot of companies. I felt so good about that. I'm not sure I capitalized on it really well from a monetary standpoint, but I sure loved cause and effects. One of my customers, one of my clients, asked me to come in and do what I was doing for other companies, but he wanted me to do it internally for his company. He had 4 other companies there. That was my first entry into the underground industry. A company called Prime Resonance. You probably know those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I was there for a number of years and later went on to Avanti because grouting became something near and dear to me. A practice I wanted to see grow, and it was growing. I'm not sure it's growing still today. We'll see. But from there, we ran into this little thing called COVID. And COVID caused a change in the company at that time, and I went to work for Madewell. And I've been at Madewell for 5 years, and I adore this mom and pop operation, and they're really genuine, nice people. I've worked for Fortune 500. I have worked for mom and pop. And for the right mom and pop, it's better. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about being in a big company, but sometimes you can be a name or a number and impacting lives and people. It can be a little bit easier in a family-run business. And so there's those extremes and those opposite ends. And so through music, through marketing to this trenchless industry, you're here, you've been part of growing some of the events that we go to. So you're a big part of NASCO, and I know they've tasked you with a couple things there at NASCO to get some projects done because of your passion for this industry. And so give us a little clip about you did this, you wandered through the woods, so to speak, to get here, but you became passionate about this industry, and what grasped a hold of you to stay here and finish out your career for the last 15 years?
Well, that's an easy question because it's the people in this business, this industry that keep me here.
Yeah.
It's a work hard, play hard, authentic people in this business that I just adore. And so somehow I've gotten to be known and recognized, and I'm not running for anything. I'm not running for politics at all, but I just love the people in this space. And I get to get to make a change, an impact in people's lives, to some degree. And I felt like mission accomplished in a lot of ways. The company's not done growing.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to grow more and will. But Madewell's been around for 50 years. It was never on a high growth projectile basis. It was kind of a lifestyle company for the owners,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. But if you want to grow something, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So
Right.
you got to really, really put the pedal to the metal and do some things that make growth happen. And, I haven't been able to do everything I wanted to do, but I've done some good things, and I'm pleased to contribute to the well-being of everybody in that company. There's just good people.
Yeah. And it's a great thing about this industry is, we're competitors at the bid table, but we could still be friends in the industry. And I think that's the great thing about this industry as a whole is while it's small and it's news travels super fast, bad news travels light speed,
Faster.
good news travels turtle speed. But the cool part is you can still have friends that are competitors, and people still respect each other and can have a good time and be friends. But yet, at the bid table, we're not friends today. But that's okay. And that's the beauty of this industry is how it's evolved into friendships.
Mm-hmm. And, we talk a lot about this industry, but if someone's tuning in for the first time, the industry is the trenchless industry and underground space, essentially. So if you could explain to someone, if somebody came up to you right now and asked, what do you guys do in that industry? What would you tell them?
I'm happy to share. We have some pretty old, aging infrastructure out there, and Madewell was able to acquire the rights from U.S. Steel to adopt a process it championed, which was applying epoxy on wet mortar. So we go in and look at structures like a manhole or like a wet well or like a tunnel and apply mortar for structural stability and then apply epoxy right on top of it. And that 1-2 punch, while it's still a single curing process, it helps the adhesion. And in the absence of adhesion, you have failure. I don't have many of those conversations. We really have a fine system for that. And I don't know of any other company that's doing that. There's no other process that mirrors that. And so I sleep well at night. Mm-hmm. I really sleep well knowing that what we're doing and what my certified applicators are doing in North America, because we not only teach them how to do it, we give them the tools to do it right. We sell a lot of trailers, motor trailers, and epoxy trailers, and the conveyance equipment you need to get it conveyed properly. So it doesn't matter what you use for method or what you use for technology. Execution's everything. If you don't execute well, it's going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bit of an artwork to it too. I watched the demo yesterday, and they're finishing off after they spin cast that manhole. They're finishing off with a trowel and making it look smooth. I mean, there's a bit of technical skill that's involved in doing that.
Sure. I think that there's a couple clients that I know that are so proud of their manholes. They invite their neighbors over to see them. Let me show you my manhole. Let me show you my manhole. I'll tell you what, it's a stark white finish and it looks good and it's bright, shiny. You just power wash it and it's brand new, clean again. And so the effect is good, and the 50-year service expectation is very good. For the money, it's really a good investment to take care of what you own, what you're responsible for. And manholes, if you don't take care of those, it'll come back to bite you. You know that.
Absolutely. In these large cities, they have a growing problem, right? Buried assets. And looking at it from the trenchless industry, how it's grown and evolved, I think about all the problems that are out there. And to the people that may be watching this, hopefully you're all watching it, but to the people that are watching it that don't understand the problems that we get to see, failure is imminent if they don't do something. And so sooner or later, concrete's failing, bricks are falling, mortar's failing, the transmission pipe leaving the water plant or going to the sewer plant, it's not built to last forever. And so products like ours and yours are that rehab that gets it to the next generation. And so I think one of the things that I don't know, just people in general don't know and understand is the problems that are underground and the reason why we are in this industry. We can drive by a fire hydrant. We know what a fire hydrant is. And when you say you work in manholes, people get that classy look. What?
You what?
What? Should I even ask what that means?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to explain. You know those round covers you drive over on the road? Yeah. We fix those. Oh, those go someplace, right? I've had those questions. Those go someplace? Yes.
Pretty deep, actually.
Yes. And they don't understand. And so they just don't even think about it, out of sight, out of mind. And there's nothing sexy that we do in this industry other than restore, rehabilitate, and provide opportunity for generations not to have to worry about stuff underground. And these failures, they're real, and they're going to be a real problem for these communities that aren't paying attention. And you take a big city like Detroit here that they could spend $1 billion on their infrastructure and probably just be scratching the surface. What do you think?
The amount of zeros just are infinite. But the idea is to try and hit the highest priority problems first.
Mm-hmm.
Every other year, I do an event called I&I Elimination. I think sometimes the cities are pretty casual about the I&I problem. Infiltration and inflow is costing cities a lot of money, minimizing the life expectancy of that structure. So every other year, I bring an event together and bring subject matter experts in to help municipalities understand that being proactive on I&I has an immediate return on investment. Immediate. Anything you do is good. Do nothing, not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I&I is the root cause of structural decay in tunnels, manholes, wet wells. If you're not proactive, if you're reactive, it's more expensive in the long run.
Because you've done this multiple years, and what is the inflationary number that is linked to I&I cost per 1,000 gallons on average that you know about? Because it's such a spread.
I've always used this number of like $4 per 1,000 gallons treatment costs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
that makes sense to me.
If 50% of the water being treated at the wastewater treatment plant is clean groundwater, I'm going to do the math. It's phenomenal. It's painful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reality. And that 50% at the treatment plant is not my number. That's an EPA number.
Correct. Yep.
And that's been around for a long time. And I think there may be some cities. There are a few cities I'm acutely aware of that have really been proactive on I&I. So their flow rate is going like this while the population is doing this.
Yeah.
There's a good classic. It's Naperville, Illinois. I'm telling you, that city is so proactive on I&I that they are proving it to the world that this is worth a battle worth fighting.
Yeah.
And so I'll keep, even after I retire, I'm going to stay involved in NASCO.
Yeah.
And NASCO is big on teaching, and I'm a big fan of what they stand for and how they get things done.
So you're saying I'm going to get to see your wife and you at the El Conquistador in Puerto Rico?
There's a good probability for that.
I can't wait. That's going to be awesome.
So what? We're not looking for an hour-long podcast today. So if you're listening, congratulations. It's 30 and done today. We're normally pretty long-winded, but we got some stuff to do today. So what is next for you? Obviously, you're not going to leave the space. You just mentioned that. So congratulations on reaching it to retirement. But it doesn't sound like you're going anywhere.
Well, I think I still have 10 good years or something.
Absolutely.
And so I do everything to keep physically right, and I'm most concerned with mentally, keeping that right. So here's what I'm doing. I already bought a brand new keyboard. Probably going to put a band back together again.
There you go.
And that's one thing. And I'm not pledging to do anything until January. I'll make a stronger announcement of what I want to do for the rest of my life, or when I grow up, whichever comes first.
But will it be in this space?
Yes.
Can you really say that?
I think so.
Perfect. That's great. I mean, this space needs people like you, people like Dustin, that genuinely get joy out of talking about gross things. There's not a lot of people out here that get excited about coating manholes or wet wells or, that gross stuff. But, you made a good point about I&I stuff, and it's something that I never thought about. So I've been in the underground space for a while. I mean, essentially my entire career has been involved in some sort of underground space. It was with
For a while then, right?
Yeah, for a while. So it's been
And not just the underground, the trenchless technology space.
trenchless technology space. Yeah. So
He's back home.
welcome home, Lee. I spent some time in on the equipment side of the directional drilling space.
Okay.
And, making large equipment. I was helping with the marketing on that kind of stuff. And it's nice to be back in it, but I didn't know anything about I&I or the impact because we didn't care. We were talking about what size diameter pipe can we pull with this directional drill.
Right.
And it was more pipeline work than anything. It wasn't small utility stuff. But I&I has a huge impact, and not just monetary with treatment stuff too. I mean, that's essentially one of the biggest reasons that sinkholes happen and things like that in roads. And, when you're driving by a manhole and you happen to see a small divot right beside the manhole, that's something that people are going to want to pay attention to, because underneath that divot could be a pretty large gaping void from I&I pulling that water, pulling the dirt down into the manhole.
Yep.
And, I'm just amazed at how much money and why towns, cities, big cities, or the residents of aren't pushing for more of that, because those are dollars well spent.
The question is, for those people who make decisions in municipalities, not their money.
Mm-hmm.
It's the taxpayers, right? And they spend it the way they feel is best for the community. And my personal mission was to tell them there's a cost factor involved. I factor that in your thinking. And if you don't do that, then you're missing the story. I&I is the root cause of structural decay in underground infrastructure, period. Be proactive with I&I, minimize it, and you will live longer. Your systems will live longer, and you're serving your community in a much smarter way.
Mm.
So not all municipalities listen to that and take action on that, but I'm not going to stop trying.
So what do you think one thing is that we could do to help get that word out? Obviously, this was our one approach to bringing light to our industry, but what is one thing that we could do to help communities to get to those people that actually have to put pressure on to their cities and their councils?
That's a really good question, because if there was a lever I could go push or pull, I would do it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to going around knocking on doors. Like, hey, do you know where that water's going?
What are you doing for the rest of your life?
Yeah, right. This, hopefully, being in this space.
Well, we know a common person named Robert Carpenter.
Yep.
Who's been so good to me, allowing me to do a session on his underground infrastructure conference every year. It used to be UCT.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring in 9 subject matter experts to talk about why, when, good, bad, and ugly about I&I, and what they could possibly gain if they were proactive on it. Trying to set the positive tone. And so Robert's given me an audience every year. Just adore him and thank him for that. And I want to keep that alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I will do, is stay true to the I&I elimination purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just an event. We video it and then make it available on the website. It's just good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. That's one thing I don't know how to do it through any kind of standard, except NASCO is good about creating standards, right? And we've got manhole rehab standards in there, and we've got all kinds of piping standards. I don't know if we've done something specific on I&I, but NASCO's got a very credible voice. I think maybe you touched on something. Thank you. I'm going to probably work with the folks at NASCO to do something proactive on I&I.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very credible platform and voice, and I like to borrow that, help continue this I&I fight.
Well, keep us in mind if you need any help with that. We'd love to help get the word out too. That impacts us and what we do every day. We're on the same side of that.
The fact that we are competitors, yeah. One of my favorite words is coopetition.
Coopetition.
I like that.
It's just I am friends with everybody I compete with. There's no silver bullet answer to manhole rehab or pipe rehab. It's not one product that's always the right one.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the situation. But I am on a first name basis with all our competitors. And it's about 20 of them. And I'm on a friendly first name basis with all of them, especially you.
Yeah. Did you think of your question?
Yeah, I've got one, and this can kind of wrap everything up for us so we can get you out of here on time. But can you tell us, I guess this is a two-part question, so if you don't mind, I'd like to hear about one project that over your career you're really happy about, something that you're super proud of, like that defining moment in your career. And then I'd also like to know what's something that you learned along the way that you never thought you would.
That's a loaded question.
I know it is.
But I have my first immediate response comes back to my years when I was at Avanti, headed up the marketing and education program. We did grad schools all over the nation. And I got so much reward going face to face, teaching these people why they should grow out and how to grow out effectively. And I kind of built a reputation, good one, frankly. Leading with education. And I thought that was good for Avanti. I think it's good for any company that I'm associated with. Lead with education. You do the same thing. I think it's a better way of selling. Not selling a widget or a service, but teaching why it's important. Proactive. That's why I&I comes into play. Why I'm going to say passion about that. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely. No, I think I honestly, that's great. And it's something that we hear a lot in the spaces. It's really hard to sell our applications without them seeing what's going on. That's why I like shows like this, because it's really easy to show them, look at what it does. But if I were to sit there and tell people, it's a coating that goes on the inside of a manhole or a structure and it helps with reduce water infiltration, they're going to be like, huh, okay, well, that's great. But when they see it, it's a neat process, and then they buy in. So the education aspect of marketing is in this space is crucial to what we do.
Well, we always talk about it too. It's the people don't care about what we do until their water doesn't come in their house or the water doesn't leave. And so maybe that's one of those skits we got to do someday, is something about that. But when you talk about education and learning and teaching and getting the information out there, that's the thing. Like, we're just trying to get stuff to leave houses, and there are a lot of good mousetraps out there, and but that's why with Coopetition we can do this.
Oh. That's a great word. We're going to be using that more, I think.
I think it's a great word.
Yeah.
Don't give me any credit for it. But just Coopetition just says that we are, as an industry, we can do things together. And NASCO's a good example of that.
Yeah.
Again, I applaud NASCO and I stand for it. And they're creating standards out there so work can be done expectedly and the results could be anticipated correctly.
Yeah. So Don, any final thoughts? We're counting down the days here. Any final thoughts of what you'd like the industry to hear from your mouth to their ears?
I think it's actually a pretty emotional time. I'm not sure I know how to express it, frankly. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
No, don't be sorry. You're passionate,
Absolutely.
and that's okay, because that's why you become friends with all these people in the industry, myself included, and those around. And that's why people know you, is because you're passionate. And so,
This is exactly how everybody should be after when
absolutely.
they're retiring from a career that they love.
Yeah, 100%.
So absolutely no apologies.
I'm not sure how I'm going to wake up and not have a cause to fight for. So I'm going to keep a cause to fight for top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for giving me a chance to shed a tear in front of all these people. I didn't mean to do that. My wife's excited about me retiring. My dog's excited about me retiring.
Yeah.
My wife bought me a walking partner, so I always keep walking. But oh my gosh, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to play a lot more golf.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the band back together. It's going to be fun.
That sounds great. We're looking forward to seeing what you do afterwards. And I'm sure we'll all keep in touch, because that's just how this works. So,
Yeah, no, I appreciate your years of friendship and the value you bring to this industry of the trenchless technology, the passion, the energy that you've had over the years, and just knowing that we can become competition at the bidding table, we can be friends at the dinner table. So it's been good.
mm-hmm.
Is that, you have a copyright on that?
We just did.
You can use it if you want.
You heard it here first. There's a couple of nuggets that y'all can take. You heard it here on the Trenchless Table first.
Yeah, and we didn't tell you, but the Trenchless Table is sponsored by Obic, so we appreciate the Coopetition.
I love that term.
But let us know if you want to jump in, and we're not exclusive. So let us know if you want to jump in and become a sponsor of the Trenchless Table.
I hear you.
So, well, thank you. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks, Don.
Right on.